Welcome to another quick review from Ultimate DIYer, and today we're going to take a look at this carbide scraper. Now, we're not just going to do a basic little review. We're going to actually test it on some wood that is stained, actually some rough cedar. So we're going to see if it can actually cut and work on that. And we're going to go into the other room here where there has been some termite damage, where a whole wall is fixing to come out. And we're going to see if this will actually remove the termite mounds. Now that's something you don't see every day. So let's get the box open and let's see what we get. It just comes in a basic little box like this here. You're going to pull it open and here's your unit. Set your box aside, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to it. You're going to have it, the little blades will be strapped to the side right here. And you can just actually pull them off. You'll want to cut that little strap later and get rid of it. And we're going to go ahead and mount this real quick so that you can see how it's done. But before I do that, let me explain a couple of things about this. Okay guys, one thing I want to talk about that's very special about this tool is thermoplastic. Thermoplastic and rubber. That's what the little grip is here, and that's what the handle is. And what that basically means is that it is made by a heating process where they crystalline the actual plastics and melt it with rubber. And what that does for you, it gives you a very nice handle that is easy to clean. It's very chemical resistant. So if you're working around solvents and things, it's not going to eat the tool up. It also means that if this is outside in the elements and all, it's not going to cause a problem. It will actually withstand the elements much better than most other tools. Especially since the front of this is aluminum. So you have aluminum and thermoplastic rubber mixed together with this tool. And also, by the way, this thermoplastic rubber handle is also BPA free, which you don't have to worry about absorbing bad chemicals into your skin. Even though generally, if I'm scraping with this, I'm probably going to be wearing some gloves anyway, but it's good to know. So, very good quality made tool. And another thing this tool has is it even has a hole cut through the side, so you can hang this up on your shelf. So if you're a woodworker, you can hang it up and have it there. If you've got a tool trailer and you're a contractor, you can hang it and it's ready to rock and roll. Now I see a lot of guys taking this and they're shaving this way. That's okay, you can do that some, but really this unit works much better in a pull stroke. Does not mean that you won't shave a little, and we're going to try it just to see how well it works here, but it's really meant to pull. Also, you're going to notice when you get the blades on that the blades are kind of concaved a little. They have a curve. They have that on purpose so the outsides wing up a little, so if you're working on wood, you don't cut grooves in the wood. So don't think your blades are defective. That's the way they're made. So I have not actually put blades in this before, so this will be my first time as well, so we're going to figure it out together. So the blades come in this little plastic cover, and it just simply pops open. Pretty simple to get that out. And let's see. It looks like, yeah, just the one blade, but it is a very heavy duty blade. It's much thicker than I expected it to be. And this is going to take a Phillips type screwdriver, not a slot. Here's your slots here. This will be a Phillips. So you're just going to simply loosen this. It undoes very easily. Get it back a little so you have some room to slide this in. And let's see, we are going to want just like that. I put my pointed part up and it's going to stick out over the sides a little bit. That's normal. I believe this is about 2 1/4 or so wide. I'm not here to give you the stats. I'm here to go ahead and just check and make sure that this thing works so that you know you're getting a great tool. Get it tightened down. There we go. Give it a little more snug. You don't want it pulling loose while you're pulling. And that's it. There's really not much to it. So I have my cutting point, the tip going upward. So when I pull, it will scrape and pull that way. Now you can try it the other way if you want, but I usually do it this way. So if I do go that way, it is also going to help cut. Now you can flip it if it doesn't work right for you, depending on what you're doing. So we're going to set that aside. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try a little bit of the wood, and then we're going to go hit that termite mound, or actually it's termite trails going up a wall. And if you've ever messed with termite trails, it's almost like concrete. So it'll be interesting to see if this thing can actually remove any of that. So let's start here. So first of all, I'm going to go the way I normally don't go. Let's see what it does if I go forward. It actually is pulling it off. All right, so now the way you normally, though, to work this and you don't push, you're really pulling. So we're doing this. And it's doing pretty good there. We're definitely moving. Let's try flipping the blade and let's see how it works. Now I can see it all. It's definitely pulling it off. Let's see if it makes a difference flipping that blade. There we go, loosen it again. So instead of pointing that way, we are going to point it downward now and see if that works a little better for us. Sometimes you got to play with it till you find what works for what you're doing. So let's try it now and let's see if it actually does any better pulling. Oh, much better. Yeah, that is removing it. So where this will come in handy, guys, is if you're removing an old paint or stain off furniture, you'll get the bulk of it with this. And the way it's curved, it's not going to cut in. Matter of fact, it's really flat. So it's not going to damage your wood, but it's going to save you a ton of time in sanding and sandpaper. So the way this one seems to work the best, guys, is the cut part goes down when you put it on, not the other way around. It seems to do better. Let's see what it does when I push. Now see if I push forward, I get nothing. So I guess it's really going to depend on what it is you're trying to do. Are you trying to pull? Or are you trying to push? And I will tell you, like I said 4 or 5 times now, pulling is generally better with this tool. So let's break from here. Let's go to the termite little mound areas, or the trails if you want to call it, and let's see if this will actually work. Okay guys, hopefully you can see these mounds or these trails. This used to be the corner of a house. It's been closed in since then, and there was water damage that was on the outside, and they worked their way up inside of here, and they were eating into the walls. You could actually hear them. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to pull and see if this will actually pull these off. Because like I said, if you've ever messed with mounds, they are pretty darn strong. So I'm going to try to do this without blocking your view. We're going to start here and we're going to pull down. And it actually pulls it off like nothing. Works very well. I mean, that looks actually really good, surprisingly enough. So there you go, guys. Great little tool. Depending on what you're trying to do, this thing should make your life a lot easier. If you're taking off old paint from a house, if you're taking off paint from furniture, if you're taking off a wood finish, if you're removing termite trails, this thing's awesome. It'll also work with caulking, by the way. It'll work with anything like that. It'll help clean. You can clean over glass with this. You can take decals and things off of cars. I don't know how well it'll work on car paint if you're trying to remove it, but I know it can remove decals. And I would do the decals more on the glass, not on the paint itself, unless you're planning on repainting. But overall, great tool. If I was rating it on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd have to give it a 6 because I really love the way this thing's made and the way it works. We'll see you guys on the next review.